Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back, as we said, on Sunday, Sunday evening, which is obviously a late one. We normally stream at 7, but we had to move it to 9, obviously, because of the game. We're going to discuss Game Week 35, how it's gone so far. I believe there's still one fixture left, which is tomorrow, isn't it? I think Brighton play tomorrow. Yeah. Brighton and Everton are playing tomorrow night, and even Leicester. So it's not over, Game Week 35, but most of the fixtures, most of our players have played now. So I thought we'd do this video. How you doing, Jordan? Everything good? I'm assuming not.
Yeah, in terms of FPL, not so good. I think we're in a bit of dire state in this game week, but apart from that, I am good, thank you. I hope everyone else is good.
Yeah, it's good to hear. So yeah, late stream. Hopefully, you guys, we set it up late the stream, so hopefully you guys do join and catch it live as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's not waste too much time. Just want to say, if you are joining in or if you're watching on a playback, guys, make sure you do smash the like. And also, if you haven't, as you know what to do, we've just hit 800 subs. So please make sure the next target, let's go 900 subs. If we can get to that, that'll be fantastic. So yeah, I think I'll go first. I'll pull up my team. Strange game week, I think. Where do we start? So I am currently on 37 points. The safety is 32. So I am on a green arrow by about, 5? Margin of 5 points, which isn't the biggest green arrow in the world. It's only 7% change. What we're saying post subs, my rank is 324k. So it's actually 324k. So let's go actually into what's happened this game week, because it's not been great so far. But however, that could easily change, because as you guys know, I do have triple Brighton, and they play Everton. They play Everton at home tomorrow night at 5:30. So that could be a very nice fixture for Brighton. So hope is not lost. But let's start with Ederson now. I don't know what to say about Ederson. Honestly, he's the biggest troll, I think, now for me, Ederson, for me this season, in terms of my personal team that I've bought him in. I exactly predicted what was going to happen. I said Man City would be comfy, they'll be cruising, it'll be easy, and then somehow Man City will find a way to concede. I don't want to blame the whole thing on Ederson, because I think it was Akanji who should have the header, made an error, and then that shot was really good. It was 1-on-1 with Ederson, but in Man City, I don't know how they do it to themselves. They've somehow managed to find a way to concede. So yeah, 2 points from Ederson. Very, very annoying. I don't think anyone's surprised when Ederson conceded, because Man City haven't kept many clean sheets this season. Moving on to the back three, obviously Estupiñán, we're not going to discuss him too much because he's got to play tomorrow night against Everton, and I said I'm quite happy to own him for that game, because I think it could be a good game for Brighton and Estupiñán. Moving on to Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, Liverpool did keep a clean sheet. We've been complaining actually about Liverpool not keeping clean sheets, so it's nice Liverpool did manage to keep one. There was a goal scored from Brentford, was offside, but other than that, they had a few, and they had a moment where Alisson had to make a save, but I thought Liverpool was still pretty comfy. Liverpool weren't at their best, but I think Liverpool now have a newfound bit of solidity. But look, Trent in that new position, I think it has changed Liverpool, and they are playing a bit better now. So yeah, clean sheet for Trent, which is nice. Also the 1 bonus point, so you can't complain too much. Trent also, I think us Trent owners are very unlucky. He should have had an assist. If you haven't seen it, he puts the ball over the top, lovely pass on a sixpence for Núñez, and Núñez misses a chance, as he has done quite a few times this season. But it was a brilliant ball from Trent, deserving of an assist. Moving on to Trippier now. Obviously, we know Arsenal and Newcastle were playing. And yeah, Trippier did concede 2 goals. For me, that was a bit of a surprise. Not that Trippier conceded. I didn't expect Trippier to keep a clean sheet. Because obviously I know Arsenal, I did expect them to score. I did think Newcastle could potentially win or even get a draw. But look, Arsenal, fair play to them. They got the job done. And yeah, Newcastle did lose 2-0 in the end. They had a few chances, obviously, hit the crossbar. I believe I've chopped some of the highlights now after the game finished, because I did miss it. I didn't watch the game. I watched like the last 15 minutes. But I know obviously Newcastle did play well in that first half, but Arsenal, doing what they do, I guess, getting back to winning ways, and big win for Arsenal away from home because Newcastle aren't an easy team to beat at St James Park. Moving on to midfield, okay, March and Mitoma, they play tomorrow again, so we have to see how they do. Moving on to Rashford. Now, obviously, Man United's game has just finished. 1-0 loss to West Ham, with David Moyes' West Ham. I think that's the first time David Moyes has beat Man United since he left Man United, which was about, I think like 14 years ago, I think it was. No, 12 years ago, I think, if my maths is correct. But yeah, look, I did actually say on the last stream, Rashford has 2 Premier League goals, I think, in his last 2.5 months of Premier League football. So it has slowed up for him a bit, Rashford. Obviously, Man United weren't great. Obviously the goal is nothing to do with Rashford, but yeah, I think Man United don't score enough goals right now. It's looking like they are struggling a bit of, I don't know what it is. If it's, see, we'll probably speak about the top 4 race again later. I'll get everyone's thoughts on that. But Man United seem to be cracking a bit under the pressure, and I don't know what it is because, obviously we saw the David Gea mistake, but yeah, I'm not going to speak too much on that because I don't just think that he's the only one to blame. But yeah, it is frustrating, Rashford blanking again, but he does have a double coming up in game week 37. So I don't know if I'm wanting to be selling Rashford. Personally, I'd probably keep him still because, he could still get goals. But yeah, it's a bit frustrating. Moving on to Salah. Now, obviously, Salah, I bought him in for the double in 34. Salah's actually carried on his goal-scoring run. I think after that goal Salah scored against Brentford, Salah is now 6 seasons in a row when he's hit 200-plus FPL points. So I think it's fair to say that he's been a consistent return of 6 years now. He's now on 19 league goals, which does seem a bit surprising maybe because of Liverpool haven't been great, but low-key under the radar, Salah has picked up a few goals in recent weeks, obviously getting that one as well against Brentford. And yeah, also Salah did break a record. I think he's now he's in the top 5 Liverpool goal scorers of all time in the club's history. So big up to Salah. But yeah, I think he got the 3 bonus points as well because of 2 bonus points and the clean sheet point. So lovely 10-pointer from Salah. Moving on to my transfer, which paid off massively. So for those that weren't in my stream, I did take out Grealish for free because we got team news that Mahrez was going to start. And as soon as I heard Mahrez is starting, I was always going to bring him in. There wasn't much debate about it, really. So if you take a look at Mahrez, he's only 5.1% owned around my rank. So very low owned, very big differential. And he did pick up 2 assists for Gundogan. Both the goals scored by Gundogan, both assists by Mahrez. City were brilliant in that first half. For Gundogan was amazing. Obviously, Gundogan missing the penalty as well. Should have had a hat-trick. Probably shouldn't have because Haaland should have took. But yeah, look, Mahrez very happy with the differential because I've not had many differentials getting me points. Obviously, my team has been fairly template, and I did discuss in that in the deadline stream that I need to go a bit different, and Mahrez has paid off. And then finally, up front, there's not really much to talk about. Watkins, again, he's going out my team. I think I'm 100% now. He did blank again in the loss, was it? For Aston Villa.
Yeah, they lost 1-0 to Wolves.
Yeah, 1-0 to Wolves. So that was a bit of maybe a surprise. I don't know, because Aston Villa have been playing pretty well in recent weeks. They are pushing for that top 6. But it looks like Aston Villa have fallen away a bit. I don't expect them to get Europa League anymore. But look, yeah, Watkins, again, another blank. He's been very good for me, though, when I've owned a Watkins. So I will be selling Watkins for a Newcastle attacker. I just don't know who right now. So we'll have to talk about that probably in the second part of the video. And then finally, my captain, Haaland, who I did captain against, obviously, Leeds. Surprisingly, Haaland did blank. Now, Haaland probably should have scored in that game, for being honest. He had 2 really good chances where he normally scores. One just just past the post. think another one. I can't remember who blocked it on the line, sort of. So yeah, that's Haaland really getting a blank. And also, see, we know what happened when Man City got the penalty. Surprisingly, I don't know if Haaland let him or did Gundogan take charge and just take it off him. Gundogan takes a penalty and then misses. That should have been Haaland's. Obviously, Haaland would have had a goal, but the way how highly owned Haaland is, I think a blank's probably better for our rank at this current rate. Look at his ownership is ridiculous. So yeah, Haaland blanks 4 points. I never considered Salah this week, unfortunately, as captain. Mahrez, I feel I didn't really think about going Mahrez, but yeah, differential would have paid off if you did captain Salah, etc. Congrats. And yeah, that's it really so far. I've only got 7 players I've played. Sorry, 8. 8 players I've played. I've got 3 left. Obviously, the 3 Brighton players. And as of now, 37 points and a green arrow up to, I believe, 324k post subs, which is a green arrow of about 7.8%. So it's not massive, but hey, look, at this moment in time, I'll take a green arrow because it's not been that good this season. But every green arrow I'll take at this stage, especially with no game weeks left to really improve unless you go very different. So yeah, that's my team out the way. Let's bring up your team, Jordan. Talk us through how your game week 35 has gone so far. And yeah.
Well, I will be honest, it won't take long. We'll kick it off, obviously, with still obviously plays tomorrow against Everton. So he's on 0 currently. So we have to wait and see what happens in that game. Moving on to the defence, obviously Newcastle played early on today and did lose 2-0 to Arsenal. There was moments where Trippier could have had an assist if Isak managed to finish his chance off, but he hit the post from a header. So no reward again for Trippier this week. I think he has been unlucky, though, in that game to not get at least an assist. Moving on to Trent. Again, he rewards FPL managers with another return of 7 points. So he didn't get an assist this game, but obviously, because Liverpool won, he did get the clean sheet and the bonus on top of that. So it was a nice 7-pointer from Trent. Moving on to obviously Shaw. Well, we all know how that game went down. Obviously, from De Gea's very poor attempt to save the ball from Benrahma's goal. That did also lead to Man United conceding and losing the game 1-0 to West Ham. So, yeah, only 2 points for Luke Shaw. No clean sheet for him this week. And no attacking the return. Moving on to the midfield. So obviously, Mitoma and Gibbs White play tomorrow. So we have to wait and see what happens with them two, obviously. But moving on to Rashford. Similar scenario, really. There was no goals for Man United again. And their away form hasn't been the greatest this season, if I'm honest. And yeah, there's not much really to say. I think Rashford was quite isolated in that game. There wasn't really many chances Rashford had. I think he only had really one, and that sort of clipped the post, and that was pretty much it for Man United in terms of attack from Rashford. Moving on to the last midfield, that's De Bruyne, who does get a blank as well. As if Haaland could have finished some of his chances, I do believe De Bruyne could have had 2 assists, I think, from that game. But because of Haaland's missed kicks and shots from that game, it didn't really reward De Bruyne, even though he did create many passes to obviously opportunity players like Haaland and etc. But yeah, only 3 points for De Bruyne from that game. He did get a bonus 1 though, which I'm quite surprised at. But the way he played in that game, he did deserve to get one, I guess. Moving on to the front 3, obviously Isak blanked. He could have obviously potentially scored. He also could have got an assist as well. But no, it wasn't to be for Newcastle. They did lose 2-0, so no returns for Isak or for Newcastle. Moving on to Watkins, obviously this is a massive shock. They were playing Wolves, obviously away. And obviously Aston Villa did lose 1-0 to Wolves, who did play home. So yeah, quite a shocking result. I wasn't expecting that. And another blank for Watkins. He seems to have run out of steam, as well as Aston Villa in terms of their winning streak. So we'll have to see what happens in their next fixture. And the last player, obviously, who I captained was Haaland, who had obviously Leeds. And he wasn't a part of the goals And he had a lot of missed chances. I think that's the most misses I've seen Haaland do. He is, in fact, human. He can miss balls. So, yeah, only 4 points because I did captain him. So, yeah, a blank captain this game week, surprisingly, from Haaland. Obviously, on the team bench, got Edison, who did concede in that game late on. McAllister plays tomorrow against Everton. Mings, obviously, Mings got 1 point.
Yeah, obviously they lost 1-0.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. I keep that's such a strange result. I can't fathom that. Yeah, Mings got obviously 1 point for conceding against Wolves, and Kilman gets another clean sheet and 7-pointer. I think he got a bonus one on top of that. So, yeah, crazy result. But I was never thinking of playing Kilman over the other defenders anyway. But overall, it is only 22 points this week so far. I've got 3 left to play in the starting 11, which obviously McAllister's on the bench if he counts as a 4th. And it is a red arrow. It's I'll say it's a small red arrow. It's about 40k red arrow. And my safety score, I'm 10 points underneath it. So it hasn't been a great week in terms of obviously returns. I think Trent is the only return I've got currently in this game week. So it hasn't been a great one to have. So I'm hoping Gibbs White can pull off something massive against Southampton, as he is my differential pick. And obviously Matoma would help also, and especially Still, who obviously is my goalkeeper. So yeah, we'll have to look ahead, I guess, and see what happens. But yeah, that's basically how my game week 35 has gone so far.
Also, one thing I've just realized, we have the exact same score, total score, 2245. I have 2245, you have 2245. Our ranks are exactly the same pretty much as well. 324, which is mad. We're basically neck and neck.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, I guess. But yeah, so that's how game week 35 has gone so far. It's not been that great, I don't think. Not many returners. Obviously, if I didn't do the Mahrez transfer, it would have been another red arrow probably for me. Mahrez is the one that saved me, I'd say, so far from a red. Obviously, Harry Kane scoring again. Now, I had a much bigger, what was it, like 13% green, and then obviously Kane scored, and that took it down a bit. But yeah, that is it from us in terms of game week 35. We're going to talk about game week 36, I think, in a bit. But we've got Dan in the chat. It says, evening, guys. Evening, Dan.
Evening, Dan.
Hope you're well. We've got Bojan. Watkins to Greenwood, but thinking, should I do also Grealish, Mitoma, March, Bruno, Salah to Rashford this week or next week? And which of those 5 should I replace? Hold that thought. Let's bring up our teams for game week 36. How we're lining up, because game week 36 is going to be a bit interesting. Obviously, it is a double for Newcastle and Brighton. So I'm going to just share my screen. So this is what my current team looks like for double game week 36. So in goal, I've got Edison, who has Everton at away. Now, I can't tell you if Edison's going to keep a clean sheet, but I'm going to play him anyway. Back 3, I've got Estupinian, who has a double against Arsenal and Newcastle. Now, this isn't an easy double at all, if you look at it, for Brighton. Arsenal obviously doing well, Newcastle doing well as well. Obviously not today, but it is 2 away fixtures as well for Brighton. So I don't know what people think about Brighton, how many points their defenders will get. But right now, I am playing Estupinian, and as you'll see from my bench, it might be a bit controversial. So in defense, I'm also playing Botman and Trippier. I'm playing a double Newcastle defense. They do have Leeds away and then Brighton at home. I do believe they can get 1 clean sheet potentially against Leeds in that game. So I am going to go double Newcastle. Plus, it's a double game week as well. However, as you guys can see, I am benching Trent, which, with the way Trent is playing right now, he hasn't blanked since. I don't think he's blanked since that Spurs. No, he got an assist in that Spurs game. Oh, sorry, he blanked against Brentford, of course. Newcastle, he got a 7 point now, so he got a clean sheet. Sorry, Sorry, no. He didn't blank against Brentford. What am I saying? I mean, in terms of attacking returns, he blanked, but obviously got the clean sheet. Clean sheet against Fulham, assist against Tottenham, assist against West Ham, assist against Nottingham Forest, 2 assists against Leeds, assist against Arsenal. You have to go all the way back to game week 29 against Chelsea, where Trent didn't get a return. So this guy, since that formation change, has been unbelievable. I think he's been one of the best players, in the Prem. Really, if you look at the stats, he's got the most passes, most assists, most chances created. So he's up in all the metrics since this formation change. So it is risky, I think. He's got Leicester away. Now, Leicester aren't playing that great either. They're at the fight at the bottom. But as of now, I think I'm going to bench Trent, which I'm not sure. Some people might think that's crazy. Going into the midfield 5. So March and Mitoma, again, they've got Arsenal and Newcastle in a double game week. There is slight worry here that one of them could get benched, as we've seen with De Zerbi. He might rotate one of them out, potentially in March. Even Mitoma could get benched in one of those games. But I'm gonna play the double Brighton midfield, I think. Mitoma doesn't look that good right now. I don't think he's missing a lot of chances. He's creating the chances. Final option, final decisiveness to show in it. And Mitoma's missed a lot of those chances. I think he's fluffed it, or he's put it wide, or the decision making in the final third hasn't been great, Mitoma. But I'm going to play him anyway. And then March, he's a differential, so I think I'm going to play him. Rashford next. So Man United have Wolves at home. This is an interesting game, obviously, for top 4, because as a Liverpool fan, I've been watching this one. But I actually think I could see Man United struggling to score in that one, because if you take a look at Wolves, I know they ain't been that good, but they are keeping a lot of clean sheets in recent weeks, as you know, Jordan, with Kilman. Newcastle are, they've just kept Aston Villa out and Watkins. I wouldn't be surprised if Man United do struggle to score a goal against Wolves, maybe one. So you could play a Wolves defender, maybe, but obviously because of the doubles, I don't know if I would. But yeah, Rashford, can he score again? Sure, I think he can. Looking at in depth, the last time Rashford did score, I think, was obviously in Tottenham in the 2-2 draw. He got a goal in a 12-pointer. And before that, it was Brentford in game week 29. So, yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think. Yeah, so 2 goals in the last 10 league games. So it has gone a bit quiet. But you take a look at Rashford from game week 17 onwards. He was scoring every week until literally game week 24. It's been since that Liverpool game, that 7-0, where Rashford has not scored as many goals. I don't know if that's a formation thing or whatever, but look, I'm not going to sell Rashford. I know some people have said, like in the previous comment, I don't know if I'd be selling Rashford, because he has a double coming up, which is Bournemouth and Chelsea. So I wouldn't want to sell him ahead of a double. And look, even though Wolves, we said what about Wolves? Man United are playing at home, and they are a lot stronger at home compared to away. I think their away form is horrendous. I don't think they've beaten a single team in the top 9, I believe. But away at home, Man United are really strong. So I wouldn't sell Rashford, I don't think. Wolves at home, you'd expect United to win. So yeah, keep him. Salah, again, I think this might be Salah's last week in my team, potentially. But I don't know now. So like a couple of weeks ago, my plan was to always sell Salah in game week 37 for Bruno Fernandes. I was going to do Salah to Bruno in 37 for the double. But now, looking at it, do I want Bruno for the double against Bournemouth and Chelsea? Look, I still could go there, because Bruno can score against Bournemouth. But that is my plan, but I'm not 100% on it right now. But that is what I'm thinking. Salah out, Bruno in for the double in 37. But Man United's form does worry me. They don't score many goals. In terms of Salah, Leicester away. I think it could be a decent fixture. I mean, Salah, Liverpool aren't at their free-flowing best. I would say that they're not playing their best football. They are just grinding it out now. Obviously, grinding out against Brentford. I think Salah's an easy hold though. Penalties, etc. You could get one, and we know when Salah scores in a win, he usually gets bonus points as well. So yeah, I'll be holding Salah. No reason to sell him. Mahrez, I don't know what I'll get your thoughts on Mahrez. What to do with him, because does he play? I'm not sure. I don't know, because I took a punt bringing him in, knowing that for that 1 week he's going to be great. I'm going to wait for team news. I'm going to wait for Champions League, because in Champions League, if Mahrez is benched against Madrid, then I think he'll start Everton potentially. So I'm not ruling out Mahrez, keeping him for another week. And look, if Mahrez is benched, I've got Trent on the bench, so I'm not too worried anyway. And then finally up top, I got Watkins and Haaland. Haaland is my... Actually, no. I don't think I will be captaining Haaland this week, which is going to be a massive talking point. I'm not sure right now if I want Haaland against Everton, which looks like a tasty fixture for him. And I know he blanked, but look, we know it's Haaland and he can easily score 2-3 goals against Everton. But look, Newcastle have a double game week. So who do we captain this week is going to be an interesting. I want to get your thoughts on that in a sec. Watkins, he has to go. So what's the plans? So Isak or Wilson is what I'm thinking. So Watkins out. I'm thinking Wilson right now. I didn't watch that full game against obviously Arsenal and Newcastle tonight earlier on, but right now I am thinking to go with Callum Wilson, but Isak does look good as well, so it's a tough one who to pick. If I look at Isak, I think Isak was better slightly today in terms of his expected goal involvement, 0.41, and Callum Wilson's was, I believe, oh wow, apparently it was 0. So I don't know. What do you reckon, Jordan? Isak or Wilson right now? If you don't have any of them, you could only bring in one. Who are you bringing in after what you saw today?
I'd probably bring in Wilson. I felt like he was more involved in terms he had more of the ball than Isak in that game. Even though Isak had the better chance of scoring, Wilson was much more heavily in possession of the ball. I think Isak at moments was sort of not receiving it, especially in the first half. He wasn't really receiving it much, the ball. But in the second half, he was more involved, obviously, on that hand side. So, but again, it's a bonus because Wilson is on penalties. And I thought at one point in that game, Newcastle had a penalty because there was a handball attack, but it ended up hitting his knee instead, one of the Arsenal defenders. But it's those moments where if that was given, Wilson was going to take it and potentially score it. That is what makes me side towards Wilson, just because it's that chance that he could get a penalty. Even though it's the same for Isak as well, he could potentially score from open play as well. So there's two sides of the court you can go for, but I think Wilson just edges it a little bit more. And it has been shown in the coming game weeks that Wilson has outscored Isak as well.
Okay, so I've got one free transfer. It looks like it's going to be Watkins out, Wilson in right now. That looks like an obvious move. And that will probably be my triple Newcastle. So it will be Wilson, Trippier, and Botman. So maybe not... double Newcastle defense is probably not the best thing to go for right now. I'd rather go double attack. But obviously, I have had Botman for weeks. And I don't think removing Botman for another midfielder, there's too many hits. I'm not willing to do it. So I'm going to play Botman. And hopefully he can get a clean sheet against Leeds or Brighton. But yeah, obviously Newcastle did lose tonight and they need to bounce back. But looking at the fixtures, they're not that easy. Leeds, Brighton, Leicester, Chelsea.
Well, I'll say 3 of the matches are manageable for Newcastle. I think the Brighton one could be the hardest one out of those 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's made it interesting now, though, definitely, for sure. Would they feel the pressure? Because I remember a couple of seasons ago when I think Leicester were 4th, and there were like 4 or 5 games left, and they managed to just slip out, and they were pretty much top 4 all season. And then I think Tottenham finished 4th. So there will be a bit of pressure on Newcastle to get that 3rd spot now. So maybe we see a bit, but look, I'm not going to do a Botman out. I'm keeping him. But yeah, that is going to be my team, I think. So it's going to be Trippier, Botman, Estupiñán as a back 3. Luke Shaw and Arnold will be benched. I'll play the midfield 5 of Rashford, Mahrez, Salah, Mitoma, March, and then I have Wilson and Haaland up front with Greenwood on the bench for free. I could take a hit, but I don't know what I'd do personally, because I am triple up on Newcastle and Brighton. The only other thing, Isak, if I want to somehow fit him in, but it's not really possible without taking like a -8, I think. So there's no point. I'm happy to go with this. And yeah, that's my team, I think. Pretty simple. It's either going to be Wilson or Isak. I don't know exactly who, but I am slightly going Wilson, but I do like Isak as well. It's a tough one. But yeah, Jordan, that's my plans. Not really that interesting, I don't think. I think it's going to be obvious. A lot of us, want to bring in Newcastle players. I don't know how you feel about them. I mean, you're still confident on bringing the Isak and Wilson double up. Talk us through.
Right, so yeah, let's talk through the team. So we've got Steele, who's got Arsenal away and Newcastle away, so a double for him. In defence, we've got Trippier, who's got Leeds away and Brighton at home. Trent has got Leicester away. Shaw's got Wolves at home. In the midfield, we've got McAllister, Matoma, who have Arsenal and Newcastle both away. And Rashford, who's got Wolves at home. De Bruyne, who's got Everton away. And out front, we've got Isak, who's got Leeds away and Brighton home. Watkins, got Tottenham home. And Haaland, who has Everton away. And on team bench, we've got Ederson, who's got Everton away. Gibbs White, who's got Chelsea away. And Bings, who's got Tottenham at home. And Kilman, who's got Man United away. And as you can see, the captaincy is currently over Isak. That'll obviously change, not because I don't want to captain double, but it's not that Newcastle player I want to captain. It's pretty much the similar plans to what Huss is doing, pretty much, in that he's bringing in Wilson. It's just depending on who I bring him in for.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just go to the next tab, I'll just show you who I'm going to bring Wilson in for. It's pretty obvious, I think, the way this goes. But I am taking Watkins out and obviously going to bring Wilson in. So I have triple Newcastle and obviously I have triple Brighton as well. So I'm pretty much set. I don't think I will change my mind on that plan. I think that was the plan I was going with, as long as Wilson and Isak were both fine. And as far as I know, not to the double, they're fit, they should play. And it was nice to see Eddie Howe play both of them today, actually. So that was also a more confident approach to that. Now I'm pretty confident to have both of my team, even if one of these gets benched, but I'll still be comfortable that I have Isak and Wilson both in the team. And I will be captaining Wilson, I think, over Isak when I bring him in for the double.
Okay, it's interesting that you are bringing both in. That could pay off because we've spoke about this. You don't really know which one's going to play sometimes, which one's going to get benched, which one's going to get the goal. So maybe going for both of them could actually work out in your favor. I'm assuming you're going to bench Gibbs White.
Yeah, Gibbs White, Kilman, and Mings.
Yeah,
I think I'm on my bench.
So you're playing Trent, aren't you?
I'm playing Trent, Shaw.
Yeah, I've got a headache because I want to play Estupinian because of the double. So Trent is the one that I'm benching, which could backfire because Linus is saying Trent will outscore any defender who doubles next week. He's a bonus magnet at the moment.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't want to bench Trent. I mean, I think in the past when I've
mad how the whole Trent thing is completely flipped on a coin.
Yeah, because I remember last season when I was going to bench Trent, but you said to me that it's not worth benching Trent, especially the value. Even though Liverpool's form was much better back then, but because of the value of Trent and what he's currently doing at the moment in terms of returns, I wouldn't want to bench him either. I'd rather bench Mahrez. I think it will work in your favour if Mahrez plays in that Real Madrid game. Then it's a bit more comfort that he may be not starting in obviously the Everton away fixture.
So I expect Mahrez to get benched against Real Madrid. So if I see him starting, then 100% I'm playing Trent. If not, I do like Mahrez, by the way, for a really good differential. I know he got obviously 2 assists, but I still think he's a good player to have because no one really has Mahrez. I don't think there's not many. I mean, his ownership is very low, so I do think against Everton, coming back off the Champions League potentially, if Man City need to rest, I'm happy to own Mahrez. But look, yeah, that Trent thing could backfire, so we'll see what happens with that. He's got Leicester. But yeah, let us know your thoughts, guys. Are you in a similar position like me where you might have to bench Trent and Luke Shaw's got Wolves, obviously. So those are the 200% I'm gonna think I'm gonna bench. Let me know. Are you playing Trent? Are you benching Trent? Let us know in the comments. Also, guys, if you are just joining in, make sure you smash the like button for us if you are enjoying the content. And as always, please do subscribe to our channel. We've just hit 800 subscribers, and the target, let's get to 900 next. But yeah, that is what the current Double Game Week 36 team looks like. We're both probably going to bring in Wilson. As a lot of managers, I think Will or Isaac, one of them coming in. But looking at Game Week 36 fixtures on paper, I think it could be a high scoring week. Personally, obviously, we're going to have 6 doublers each. So it should be a decent game week. You look at Salah's got Leicester as well. You've got Mahrez, Haaland have Everton. So that should be a good game, assuming they start. Edison, I don't know what to say. Can they keep a clean sheet against Everton? Who knows? They'll somehow probably concede, but that should be a game where Man City are quite comfortable because Everton do struggle for goals. But yeah, let us know your transfer plans, guys. Is it just priority is Wilson, Isaac? Because a lot of people don't have them right now. I know you have Isaac, Jordan, but what's his ownership like?
Isaac's ownership has climbed slightly. It is about 11%. So
Okay.
he's
Still low.
It's still considerably low. He was less than 10, I think, 2 game weeks ago. So he has risen, I'll say up. Well, coming up to the double, he might even rise even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still low owned.
Yeah, I expect that to shoot up, obviously, now. But maybe we should do some transfer planning as well. And looking at game week 37 and 38 as well now, because we may as well plan it out on the FPL.team. And I want to see what your plans are for 37 and 38, navigating the last 2 game weeks as well, which would be interesting to see how you play it out. So do you want to bring up FPL.team when you're ready?
Yeah. I'll go and bring it up.
I'll bring my one up as well in a sec. I'll let you go first. I'll just take this question before. What do you think of this? Game week 36, Grealish to Rashford. I think that could be a good move. Bringing in game week 37 for double Stones, and bringing in game week 37 doublers. Stones, and in 38 March Matoma to Martinelli Odegaard against Southampton for -4. Yeah, that could work. I think we have to look at Arsenal players again, guys, from game week 37 onwards. Last 2 weeks, I think you want maybe one Arsenal potentially, because Arsenal do play Southampton. That could be a good little scoreline for Arsenal. So I think personally, I am going to bring in an Arsenal player in game week 37. Maybe Odegaard. It's looking like if I had to pick one right now, I'd probably go Odegaard or Martinelli. But I'll let Jordan talk us through what is his plans, because this is game week 36. That's how your team looks like. What's your moves? Obviously, Watkins with Wilson, right?
Yeah, so obviously, let me just quickly do the moves. So, yeah, Watkins to Wilson, and uses a transfer. So, move on to game week 37.
Oh, I just realised. Are you going to play McAllister? He's got a double, right? So, oh, no. 36, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I put Gibbs White on the bench. But yeah, that's game week 36. And we move on to 37. This is where Brighton have their next double. And Man United have their double. So, yes, Brighton obviously have Southampton, Man City away in both the home fixtures. And Man United have Bournemouth away and Chelsea home in their double fixtures. And Man City obviously will double. I don't know if I probably will play Still, even though I have Edison on the bench, because I think Still has a better chance of getting a clean sheet than Edison will. So, yeah, I'll probably keep that.
You'll probably play Still.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has wagered more, I think, returns than Edison has. But, yeah, transfer.
Sorry. I was saying transfer-wise, have you got any... If you was to think, obviously it's quite far ahead, but what do you reckon in terms of moves?
In terms of moves, I might potentially just roll if I'm honest, in this one, because the only double gameweek player I would want to bring in is probably Bruno at a push.
Yeah.
But to get Bruno, I'd probably have to get rid of De Bruyne, which I'm not going to do because he doubled as well. Pretty much the whole midfield double, so I can't really remove anyone on the starting 11. And Gibbs White is too cheap to bring in for obviously another doubler. So I'm probably just going to roll game week 37.
Roll, okay.
I think I have enough doubles.
Also, it's going to depend on, again, Man City, Real Madrid. Because if you hear that De Bruyne might miss one of those games, maybe he becomes more of a priority that you have to take out.
Yeah, in that case, then it may be switched to Bruno. If it is to say that Kevin De Bruyne doesn't start.
All right, let's assume you roll then. If you're happy to go with De Bruyne and Chelsea, Brighton, which could be a very good game, really, for City.
Yeah, it should be a nice double for De Bruyne to bounce back in. And then let's say I roll to obviously the last game week. I could go completely crazy with transfers. Probably bring in like 2 differentials at a low own that you may expect to bring in. I have actually not sure.
I can bring up the fixtures for you. Hold on. I mean, I'm thinking of a potential Harry Kane punt or an Arsenal punt, or Odegaard, or someone like. I think I would want Odegaard in game week 37. So looking at game week 37, Arsenal actually play Nottingham Forest in game week 37. That looks like a decent fixture on paper. So I'll probably look to bring in an Arsenal player in game week 37. I don't know who I'd sell right now.
Be a tricky one.
If you go back one previous, Arsenal have Forest, but you've got a lot of doublers. Would you want to do any Arsenal players in? Because your team looks pretty decent. I think you could do Wilson or Isak for Jesus, etc. But might not be worth it.
That's probably still not worth it, I don't think, because Isak and Wilson are little differentials, and McAllister differential, and well, Gibbs White is, but he's on the bench. Still is kind of a differential as well because he's not a high-owned goalkeeper.
All right.
So I want to keep these differentials in. I think that will do well still.
And looking at game week 38, final game week, so you have 2 free transfers currently, if that's the case. Arsenal have Wolves, could be a good game. Aston Villa play Brighton. Brentford have Man City. Chelsea have Newcastle. Palace have Nottingham Forest. Everton have Bournemouth. Leeds have Spurs. Leicester have West Ham. Man United have Fulham. And Liverpool away to Southampton. Final day. So yeah, that's pretty much the fixtures. I think if I'm looking at it right now, maybe Harry Kane against Leeds final day. One could be interesting as a differential that I could potentially look to do, but I could show you guys in my team. Ara says hi lads. Hi Ara. Linus is all with the chat. Worth going back to Kane. I currently own Haaland and Isak. Took a punt on Alvarez this week. Don't know what to do. I think Kane could be worth going back to in the final game week as a punt. Like, okay, Jordan's, that's your team. Obviously, I'm gonna bring up my team very quickly and show you what my plans are right now. I see. I'm gonna share my screen. 2 seconds. So back to my team. So this is what it looks like for game week 36. I'll probably do Watkins out. Let's say Wilson for now. I don't know Isak or Wilson. It will be one of them for sure. Let's say I captain Wilson for argument's sake. And then let's say we go to game week 37. That leaves me. I'll probably play Luke Shaw. I'll probably bench Trippier, which is mad. I don't know who I'd bench because there's no way I'm going to bench Estupinian in a double, even though he's got City. That Southampton game, I do like it. Yeah, I'll probably bench Trippier. I mean, Newcastle haven't been that great. I mean, if in the last couple of games they are conceding goals, so yeah, I'll play Luke Shaw, who's got Bournemouth. Can Man United keep a clean sheet in those games? Possibly. And I think I might back. Let's see what Man United do against Wolves. If they don't look good against Wolves, then look, it will be a worry. But look, double game week for Man United. I think I'll play him. Salah, I'm going to play him a single game week. So the team looks fine in 37. But what I could do, Salah has Villa. I don't know if I'd be taking Salah out. I could take Salah out and bring in another Man United player, which this was the plan. Salah out for Bruno, for Bruno's double against Bournemouth and Chelsea. But the way Man United are playing right now, I'm not sure I want to do Bruno in for Salah. I think I'd rather have Salah, but look, it's a double game week and I like the upside. I like always chasing double game week players. So let's say it's Fernandes for now, who comes in. And that will be my team. 1 free transfer. And then finally, go to game week 38. That will leave me with 4.3 million in the bank as well. And what I'll do, I'll sell Wilson to Harry Kane. That gives me exact same money. And I'll have Harry Kane's final game week with a punt against Leeds away when a lot of people won't maybe not have him. But the worry is triple United. I'm not keen on triple Brighton. Yeah, could work payoff. But yeah, Harry Kane could come in for me last game week. I don't know yet. I could take a hit as well in 37 maybe. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. Bring Bruno in for that double. But I want to get your thoughts on, obviously, let's speak about some clubs like Man United. I think Man United are a big topic because they have a double coming up in 37. How confident are we? Bournemouth still looks like a good game, I think. Or have you swayed on it, like, in that sense, bringing in triple United?
Well, I wouldn't put past the away fixture for Bournemouth, even though Man United's away form has been terrible, because it is Bournemouth.
It is away, yes. But
it is against a team that hasn't really got going in the Premier League.
I mean, let's look at Bournemouth.
Yeah. You'd also lose to Chelsea 3-1, which Chelsea have been really poor in terms of goals for Chelsea.
Actually, to be fair, they've won 4 of their last 6. They beat Leicester in game week 30. They beat Tottenham in game week 31. They lost to West Ham. Then they beat Southampton. They beat Leeds and they lost to Chelsea. Let's see their home. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, actually, because you probably can't see. Actually, hold on. Bear with me for a sec, guys. Oh, what have I done? Can you still hear me? I don't know what happened. I just feel like I've gone off the stream. Sorry, I'm going to have to do it again. Can't see the fixtures. Yeah, I mean, if I've just looked at, if you click on Gibbs White, Jordan. Sorry, not Gibbs White. If you bring up Solanke on your FPL. Actually, no, I'll have to do it. Sorry. Transfers. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Their form ain't that bad. Last 6 games, 4 wins and 2 losses. And they are a lot better. Obviously, they had a home game, didn't they? Against Chelsea. And Chelsea beat them.
Yeah, a massive win.
Sorry, my bad. Chelsea, yeah. Chelsea were away, so they lost to Chelsea at home. They beat Leeds at home. They did win away to Southampton. They lost away to West Ham. I think, actually, they beat Liverpool as well, didn't they? In game of 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 1-0.
Yeah.
And that was at home.
In terms of results, it doesn't really correlate, really, when they've beat Liverpool, but they've lost to Chelsea, who have struggled throughout this whole season.
I mean, Liverpool have struggled as well, but that was a weird game because Liverpool had just won 7-0, and we're thinking, Liverpool are back or they're going to go and kick on, but then they go lose to Bournemouth.
Yeah, so it's not like they had a bad run of fixtures beforehand, because coming off a 7-0 win, you're going to be really like really looking forward to the next fixture, especially
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
I mean, we could talk about the top four race now, actually, because obviously not FPL related as such, but it has made it an interesting now because these doubles now. I was going to target United always because I did think that fixtures were looking good. Chelsea, we know Chelsea haven't been good as well either at all, really. And obviously, Lampard got his first win. So are Chelsea now going to be a decent team? I don't think so. But let's take a look at fixtures now. I think so. I think that's what we should do. I'm gonna bring up the FPL website now. I think so. There's not many games left. Where is that fixture ticker that I can bring up usually? Hold on. So there you go. So Arsenal have Brighton, Forest, Wolves, right? I think you want Arsenal players very soon. 37-38. Two very good games, I think. Nottingham Forest and Wolves. Also, another thing I think we got to watch out on, guys. Ideally, you want to bring in players that are playing against a team that have nothing to play for. So, for example, like if I look at the league table right now, I'm trying to bring in teams that are playing against, if you're playing against a team that bottom, in the bottom fighting for their lives, I'm not sure I'd want to bring in a player like that personally because of they'll be fighting for relegation. So that's what my opinion is on it. I don't know what you think, Jordan.
Well, at this moment in time, like we said with the Arsenal assets, you can still bring them in because obviously they are still technically in the title race. Because if Man City slip up, that makes Arsenal favourite, obviously, to go on and.
Yeah, I think that league title's done personally. Like, there's no way Man City losing two of the last. Man City need to lose two games or draw two games basically. But in terms of like, especially again for teams like Leicester, is Leicester going to be an easy game now for Newcastle, etc.? Because Leicester they need points now. You saw West Ham today. 3 weeks ago, we never saw this result coming, but West Ham are safe pretty much. They got 37 points, so that they are fighting for something. Whereas, for example, take Fulham for example, they're chilling in mid-table right now. They're safe. They're not going to get relegated. They're not going to get Europe. Some could say they're on the beach. In that sense, a mid-table, 45 points. So looking at Chelsea, I think Chelsea are another team that don't have much to play for now because they're probably going to finish where they are. They can't challenge for top 4 or top 6. They ain't going to get relegated, Chelsea, anymore. 42 points will see them through. Palace, 40 points. Wolves, 40 points. Bournemouth, 39 points. Everton, on the other hand, are 19th with 29 points. They could be a tricky game in a sense that they will be scrapping and fighting for every ball because they need to get points to stay up. Same with Forest, same with Leeds, and even Leicester. So I think it will make an interesting battle. The relegation, the relegation threatened teams for me. Obviously, Southampton we know are going down, but one of Leicester, Leeds, Forest, Everton, there's nothing separating them really. I think it's like 1 point. Everton have 29, Forest, Leeds, and Leicester have 30. They've all played same games. I think Leeds played one more. If I could show you guys the table, actually, I'm looking at the relegation thing though. It's as a bit of an interest in regards. Do we bring in some of the players? I want to see fixtures in that sense as well. Where was it again? Let us know what you guys think anyway, guys, in the chat. Who are you guys targeting on punts and stuff? Because I think it's at a stage now where we need to go different. Have you thought about anything, Jordan, in terms of who you're going to bring in that no one will think about, possibly?
No, not particularly. I mean, I've only really thought about bringing maybe an Arsenal player in because they're still fighting them, like we saw today against Newcastle. And still, even though they're doubting whether they're going to win the title, literally got to hang on. And Man City drop points here and there, but they're still fighting these teams like Arsenal, obviously for title, and it's going to be the same for relegation. There's going to be fights for getting out of that spot and obviously hanging on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Wolves. I mean, they're safe, right? 40 points. You'd say 13th. They should be fine.
Yeah.
I think West Ham, they're fine. Have you considered West Ham punt fixtures? Brentford, Leeds, Leicester, or you probably
No,
not?
they're pretty frustrating. West Ham, like they do make nice runs and that, but they're not really clinical with their attack.
Spurs. That's why Harry Kane. I'm looking at him against Leeds. Leeds could be down at this point, or they could be fighting for their life, needing a point on the final day of the season. So that's a narrative that we'll have to look at. And Southampton, I think they're finished in terms of the Premier League. I don't think they'll stay up. I think they are certain to go down. Nottingham Forest have potentially some tricky games. They've got 3 games, and they need to get a win somewhere here because they're probably going to go down. I think Forest are going to go down. Another team. I think Forest and Southampton will go down, and one of Leicester, Leeds, and Everton are in trouble. So Forest have Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace. They'll probably lose. I mean, maybe they can beat Chelsea. You never know. Newcastle now is interesting because obviously they've got Leeds who are fighting for their life, and Brighton who are tough right now. Leicester who are fighting for their life as well. But obviously Newcastle are playing great in terms of majority of the season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because it was that including the top 4 battle now. Obviously United, we're talking about United. Wolves, I think Wolves are a team that are safe. So at home, you'd expect Man United to win. Bournemouth, you'd expect United again. I think Bournemouth are they should be safe, Bournemouth. Chelsea, they could do it. It's hard to say with Chelsea, really. They could lose that easily. They could somehow get a win. And Fulham, I think at home, Man United, final day of the season, I expect Man United to win against Fulham as well. Fulham are, like I said, probably on the beach. Man City, we know they're going for the title. So you'd want some of their players, but rotation is a risk with their midfielders. Liverpool, I think Salah's the one, Trent, and on paper, the single game weeks, Villa, Southampton, Leicester, they're not too bad fixtures for Liverpool. The only thing is Leicester next. Leicester are struggling, as I said, and they could make that a tough one for Liverpool. But look, Liverpool need to win for the top 4 battle as well. Again, same with Leicester. They're struggling. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, I think, end of the season in terms of relegation and top 4 now. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I think we're probably going to wrap it up here. We've gone live for about an hour. Don't want to keep this for too long. But yeah. Let us know what you guys think of your thoughts as well. Also, Jordan, I got to get your predictions for this top 4 now. Because it's got interesting, as I mentioned. Actually, you guys can't see that, can you? I want to know what you guys in the chat think as well. If you could drop it in.
Well, because the way the results have happened today, it has changed a lot on who finishes now, I think.
And who goes down? I want to know who you think goes down.
Right. The way I see it, I think Liverpool will steal one of the top 4 places from either Newcastle or Man United. It is very dependable on obviously how Newcastle and Man United play in their last games, but I think Liverpool can obviously go on to win their last ones that they have left, and either Man United or Newcastle will struggle to win their last games. It all depends on who struggles most, but I think Liverpool can take that top 4 spot and just about get over the finish line and knock one of the teams out, either Newcastle or Man United, from it.
I've said Newcastle's fixtures aren't that easy. If you look at it on paper, in terms of playing teams that have something to play for, Man United, I think it finishes as it is. By the way, I do feel like it finishes as the way it is. I think it's Man United, the only one I think could drop out. I still think they are the one that I'm looking at thinking it's 1 point now. It was 15 points. I think, a couple of months back. Yeah, I do think. Let us know, guys, in the chat who finishes in the top 4. I still think it probably finishes as it is. But Newcastle and Man United have let Liverpool back in it, I think. In terms of the bottom 3, how do you see this one going? Who's going to get the 3 go down? Because I think we probably both agree Southampton are down. But what's the rest for you?
The rest, I think Leeds will go down.
You think?
Yeah, honestly, look at their results. They've only drawn in their last 5. They
One
lost
draw.
4. Yeah, one draw.
Same with Everton though, or 2 draws.
Everton are a bit more convincing when you see them play, but with Leeds, there is no sort of spirit anymore. Even the goalkeeper, they've switched out their main goalkeeper now for their reserve one. It just seems like they can't really get going, Leeds, and I think they will be the ones that will be relegated along with Southampton. The third spot for relegation is a hard one. It's either between Nottingham Forest or Leicester. I think Leicester will stay up. I think Nottingham Forest are the ones who will probably go down.
Yeah.
I think Leicester have a bit more fight in them. I think they'll fight to stay in the Premier League as they've been quite involved in it in the past season. So I think they would want to keep hold of that. Whereas Nottingham Forest have just come into the Premier League, and obviously newly promoted teams normally do have a rebound and go back down like a snakes and ladders. So I think that's how it's going to go down. Southampton, Leeds, and Nottingham Forest, I think, will be relegated.
I think Southampton are gone. I think Nottingham Forest will probably get relegated as well. And I think Everton. So essentially, I think it's going to be what it is again. I think Leeds might, by the skin of their teeth, stay up just mainly because of fixtures, I think. But look, Leeds are in trouble as well. Everton, I think Everton are in big trouble as well, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's just obviously just some predictions. Obviously, we're going to do our score predictions as well to end the season. But yeah, game week 35 is not finished. We've got fixtures tomorrow to look forward to. Hopefully, our Brighton assets could do well. But that is it from us, I think, guys. If you have enjoyed the stream, make sure you smash the like. As always, it helps support us. It helps support the channel, and every single like, helps the channel grow. So please do drop the like, and also make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're very, very close, as always, to getting 900 subs. No, we've just hit 800. The next target is 900. Sorry, and yeah, that is it from us. We are going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching the show. And yeah, Jordan, that's it. Anything else you'd like to add to it?
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, obviously, in bank holiday weekend, and enjoy the last fixtures that are tomorrow. Hopefully, we can obviously get better returns than what we've had 2/3 of this way through this game week. So yeah, hopefully we get more returns tomorrow in the last fixtures. But take care and see you soon. Thank you.